You ever wonder if, like, the little teapot has any other songs, or if it's just all about him?
There's a one-hit wonder. Happens sometimes.
It is a hymn, by the way. For PC police say, "Ooh, you mean the spout is a penis."
Brunch! Hit it, boys!
Hey, man, what's Morbius? What's Morbius?
What is Morbius?
What is Morbius?
It's a movie.
I've only seen jokes about Morbius. Haven't seen the movie. Haven't heard anything other than jokes about Morbius.
I don't know much about Morbius. I know that it's like a comic book movie. Jared Leto plays like a bat guy. He plays I believe from the trailer, it's a doctor who can't walk, and he's like trying to figure out ways to mess with his genes or like his blood or whatever to make him strong and like cure his paralysis or whatever you want to say. And then he just like finds a way to turn himself into a supervillain.
So it's like the Secret World of Alex Mack. Did you ever see that show? That might be like a...
That's a different sort of like... She turns into like Capri Sun.
Yeah, she falls into Capri Sun,
Yeah.
then she gets up, and then she's Capri Sun.
That's right.
And you ever try to open a Capri Sun?
I have.
Famously tricky.
Not to brag, but I'm pretty good at it.
You get the juice everywhere. It's a big mess. Who thought of the juice bag concept? How come when people say what's Morbius, someone tells them about the movie Morbius, but if you say what's up, they only talk about themselves?
That's a good call. They never talk about the movie
They never talk about the movie Up. How come when people talk about the movie Up, they only talk about that fucking old guy?
Yeah, and how much they cried at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, cool.
That's all
we
people
get it.
talk about. Yeah,
cool.
cool.
Even when you ask them about the movie, I say, no, I'm not asking what's up in your life. I'm saying specifically, what is up? Tell me about the movie Up.
Please give me the synopsis.
Within 5 seconds, they're making it all about them again. Same thing with that fucking... you ever wonder if, like, the little teapot has any other songs, or if it's just all about him?
There's a one-hit wonder. Happens sometimes.
It is a hymn, by the way. For PC police say, ooh, you mean the spout is a penis.
Finally, the age-old question has been answered.
What's the story with the little teapot?
Yeah. Is that
decent musician, but just couldn't get off singing about his dick.
Short and stout.
Yeah. Little teapot. They were like, cool. Any other song ideas
that aren't about your old dong here, pal?
Teapot's got the same syndrome as fans going to their first game. They just don't know that everything isn't about them.
Speaking of fans going to their first game,
oh
boy, did we have a time!
You know what I'm doing? Whatever. That's a good song, man.
It is.
That gets me in the spirit because they play it at baseball games, but people don't understand.
What song is that?
It's called Centerfield by John Fogerty.
Okay.
Do you know the chorus of it?
It goes Centerfield.
Put me in, coach. You really don't know?
No, yeah.
Put me in,
okay.
He says,
that's a good song.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a game time decision or something.
It seems like that guy needs to know his role a little bit more. Like, let the coach do his job. You're on the bench for a reason.
Yeah, first of all, like, it's the manager.
Yeah. Ooh, good call.
If you really knew the game, you'd say, put me in, Skip.
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking about that song because it was playing at the big game on Monday. The Red Sox had a huge game Monday, and we were lucky enough to go. And that song played. I like they've moved it back. That used to be like a pregame song.
Oh, that's a waste of a pregame song.
Really? You think that you should play it later in the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that song probably gets the people going.
But that song, when I visualize when I think of that song, and maybe like other stadiums use it as a pregame song, so maybe I'm confused. Maybe the Red Sox never did it, but like I know that at like Camden Yards, I'm pretty sure they would play that as like a pregame song, and like that song is like the sound of water hitting the dirt, and like the water.
It's a great baseball thing.
It's like the players are running out onto the field, sun came out today, I believe is one of the lyrics. He's describing that like conditions are decent for baseball. There's no tarp going. But the only thing that I picked up from having heard it recently is that like it's as ambitious as it could be without being too ambitious, because he wants to play center field. And for somebody that's like just telling the manager that you exist.
Yeah, it's like the guy who's like begging the manager to put him in the game. It's
Yeah.
like, maybe you should stick to right field.
So I was talking to Adam Hart today about it. He's like, wouldn't right be, but maybe it's like a negotiation. He knows there's no way
That's right.
sticking him
he's
in.
coming up. He's coming in higher.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I am a center fielder if you need one. We don't. We have we're like any baseball team worth its salt. We probably
We're not taking
know
out our
who's in center. What would be the only more ambitious thing?
DH.
Wrong. The most
Pitcher.
ridiculous ask is,
Put
could
me
I
in.
be starting pitcher today?
DH is a good one though, because like DH is reserved for somebody who knocks the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're asking to be put into DH,
Yeah.
I think you're shooting a little too high, and also you're going after a coveted position because you don't have to play defense.
I can't remember if it was with you or somebody else, but a few were had at the ball game. I think it was you and me. We were riffing on the designated hitter. Do you remember that?
No,
So maybe it wasn't you.
it probably wasn't me. We actually didn't. We didn't see each other until after the game.
Incorrect.
Well, like the 9th inning. The game was already over.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that it ended, by the way. I knew I went up. I thought it was like the 8th inning, and the game ended, and I just like very casually was like, ooh, I knew that was it.
I know the rules of baseball.
Oh, yeah. They're only doing 9 today, huh? Okay, let's wrap it up, boys.
You were famously very observant on Monday because you were trying to spot me like the entire game because
yeah.
I was seated. I was standing room only above you, the roof deck above you, and you were looking. You were trying to snipe me, and you were taking pictures of people, and you're like, found ya.
I was actually pretty pumped. I was like, so this must have been the 8th inning, and I thought it was the 7th inning. And I was like, oh, yeah, Pete's got to be somewhere up there. And I looked up, and just like immediately, I was like, oh, bam, first try. That's Pete. Took a picture, sent it to you, like called you a clown, I believe. Said, found you fucking clown, or something like that. And it was like an old woman.
I was like, that is absolutely not me.
When I got up there, I saw the 2 different people that I thought were you.
You did send me two pictures.
Yeah.
By the time the second one came, I thought that it was a bit. I thought it was
Sincerely
an old
thought
gag.
it was you.
Because it was like the most zoomed in like 5x iPhone grainy picture that like even if it was me, I'd kind of have to like pinch and zoom to be like,
yeah,
that is me. No, it was not even close to me.
It was a good game, though. It was a nice day for a game. No, but the riffing was, I apologize to whichever friend I was riffing with then, but DH is some real, you were designated one job type of thing. So if you ain't tearing the cover off that ball.
This might have been me. This sounds familiar now.
I think you said, like, doesn't it suck when a DH doesn't get a hit?
Yeah,
right?
It's literally your only job.
Yeah. You were designated one job. Toss that on a T-shirt. Hey, DH.
What is the term designated for? Why do they use designated for assignment?
Because designated is a baseball term.
True, but isn't every baseball player designated for some assignment?
Like someone has chosen that they're going to do something with that player?
Like every player has some assignment. You got a job to do.
Not necessarily. Not on my off day, to quote Josh Beckett. Not on my off day.
Sure, but when you're at the ballpark, you are assigned a task.
Mm-hmm.
And that is playing baseball and helping the team win. So every player is designated for assignment at some point.
Yeah, but designated for assignment just means we don't know what we're going to do with this guy, but he'll probably be gone. So
it's as close to getting cut as you can be in baseball.
Right. It's sending a warning flare up to everybody saying, hey, we're going to cut this guy.
We've got some garbage here. You want to come pick it up?
You want him? But a lot of good players have been designated for assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Bonds was designated for assignment.
Was he?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Barry Bonds was sick.
You know,
like
who's
the whole
designated
time.
for assignment? David Ortiz.
I was pretty sure David Ortiz was designated for assignment at one point.
I believe so.
Right?
By
With
the Minnesota
Mariners?
Twins.
Oh, okay. He was with the Mariners, then he was with the Twins. But when he was with the Mariners, he was David Arias,
Really? I didn't know
Correct?
that. No.
I think that David Ortiz at one point in his career was going by a different name. Famously, Patrice Bergeron was drafted as Patrice Bergeron Cleary.
Oh.
He's the only Bruin with an Irish last name, I believe.
Very cool.
Yeah, which I would always get mad whenever they do the like St. Patrick's Day jerseys and everything.
Like, Bergeron.
They would put like Bergeron. I'm like,
like
yo,
he's
got an Irish name. My brother in Christ. Are we tossing this on there?
You're a big
took long enough to get there.
Yeah, you are a big my brother in Christ guy now.
All the way in on my brother in Christ.
You've said it so many times, but it literally hasn't worked.
No,
it literally hasn't not worked every time you've done it.
Okay, I was going to say like every time it's like landed.
It never misses.
And that's not like a whoa, DJ's really nailing that my brother in Christ usage. It's just like as long as you don't super overdo it, as long as you're just looking for opportunities to use it, the opportunities are going to be right.
They will present themselves.
Man, I've been dropping my brother in Christ on. I was saying to my sisters all day on Easter. I think I tossed my mom my brother in Christ at some point.
That's a little. You got to be careful where you use my brother in Christ on Easter.
True.
That's like you're flying too close to the sun there, my brother in Christ.
Well, I mean, there's got to be a joke to be made about flying too close to the sun on Easter because Jesus actually was a relative of God.
Yeah,
he was his son.
He didn't fly.
Jesus' boys, man. Those guys pulled a fucking number on him.
That was an all-time screw job.
That was like I saw a thing on like Instagram. Somebody was like, "Hey, I wasn't sure how close I was with a friend, so I stopped texting them, and I haven't spoken to them in like forever." You ever have friends like that where you're like, I had a couple friends growing up that they were like nice people and I was tight with them and everything, but I was like, I bet like if I don't say, "Hey, what are we doing this weekend?" probably never see them again.
That's like all my friendships.
Oh yeah, you got to work for those. You got to fight for those.
Yeah, I think that it's just like I feel like the people that I am friends with, or that I've chosen to be friends with, the relationships are strong enough that they can survive that. Like,
yeah, okay,
where it just can like it can pop up at any point and kind of like resume friendship status.
That's the way I am with quite a few people, and like in particular,
there's a lot of
like
dormant friendships.
Yeah,
but like that doesn't mean they're dead.
So those are real friends. But I mean, sometimes there are friends that you're like,
like routine friends, where it's like once you snap out of the routine, you kind of like
it's like very easy to just maybe never see those people again. But I mean, I don't know. What if like Jesus and his boys had text messaging back then? They could have figured out maybe a little earlier that they weren't for each other.
I bet
everybody could have lived.
Jesus probably would have got a screenshot from one of his pals being like, "Yo, this guy's talking mad shit and he is scheming against you."
Yeah. Wait, who were the other disciples? Was the John? John must have been one of them.
Yeah,
but I bet
Peter.
I bet somebody at one point was like, Jesus,
Judas.
Look, I don't. Right, obviously. So I was gonna say like, Jesus. I don't want to tell you, man. I bet I know. What's John doing now? Like, it's not John.
No.
It's not John. John, I figured didn't like me. So two of my guys don't like me. Tell me it's not Judas, man. Judas is the only one I can trust.
Has anybody ever made like a parody, like reality TV show with like Jesus and the disciples? That's a good idea.
That sounds like a vehicle for my man Pete Holmes.
True. Yeah.
Pete Holmes would have crushed
big
that.
Religious.
He would have had a bit about that in his like touring Christian stand-up act that would have gotten him fired.
If Crashing got like one more season, we would have got the Jesus reality show where those confessionals would have been.
I will never get the Crashing shelf life,
especially now where like everything is a TV show.
Yeah,
everything is a TV show,
or everything is a stand-up special. Like
true,
comedy could not be doing better, but actually maybe with COVID, ticket sales probably aren't hot. But you know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a stand-up special.
Oh, man.
Comedians are like
playing
celebrities.
Fenway Park.
Yeah, I thought about that. That's going to sound like shit.
Probably. But
right?
Yeah.
Could you? I mean, if you could do, like, bring AirPods or something and like tap into the PA or something.
Yeah, just like Bluetooth it.
Yeah, you're not make it like a silent disco because it's gonna be tough. Can you ever hear what anybody's saying at Fenway Park?
Yeah.
You can't.
guess.
You didn't even know the words to Centerfield.
Yeah, that's just because I was overserved. That was not my fault.
Every time you've heard Centerfield at Fenway Park,
Yeah.
no wonder it's America's most beloved ballpark.
That's
They're
right.
getting kids all sorts of goofy drunk.
Absolutely.
My brother in Christ, he was drinking at Fenway at a young. Man, I got tenders at Fenway. I hadn't been to Fenway Park as a baseball fan in legitimately probably a decade.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Holy shit.
Last time I remember going to a Red Sox game.
That's not true. We've
with
been to a
tickets.
Red Sox game.
Have we?
Yes. Like, maybe not together, but we were, like, both there, and we met up at Yard House.
No. Oh, that is true.
That is
But
true.
Before Churches, so that is the last Red Sox game I went to. You're right. Before Churches, my friend had like her company tickets or something. And you know what? No, I went to the Red Sox game with Nora like 3 years
yeah, you
ago,
told the
where the
story
guy
about-
yelled at us to quit talking business.
Yeah. Yeah, so liar.
Sorry, bro.
Big time liar.
She's booking her travel for that Patriots season. Couldn't
yes.
get away from that business.
I had not been in like 2+ years, which obviously, 3 games already.
And you're getting to a fourth because we're going on.
Well, that'll be like 3rd.
Thursday, we're just going to be like,
I will know all the words to Centerfield because I am not drinking on Thursday.
same solidarity.
Yes.
Let's do.
You can drink. I'll allow it.
Let's do. Let's treat Centerfield like Sweet Caroline. When they start playing
Yes.
Centerfield, we like get everybody up. We're like, bah, bah,
We like
bah, bah, bah,
we like
bah,
turn our
bah,
backs to the
bah,
field and
bah,
are looking
bah,
up
bah,
the the grandstands, being like, "All right, now here we go."
Oh, boomerang, coach. We're doing like fist bumps, like bump bump bumps. So like
Yes.
da ba da da ba ba da 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 ba ba da da ba 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 ba.
I love the idea of just inserting "ba ba
Yeah,
ba"
for
into
like-
random songs.
For like the organ hits, just like ba ba. Well, the phone don't and then we're like, even Joe DiMaggio.
That song has some fucking sass to it, man.
Oh, I mean, it's Fogarty. What's he gonna dick around on you?
I don't know that guy.
I mean, he wants to know if you've ever seen The Rain. So
Oh, that's that guy?
it's Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, that's him?
That is John Fogerty.
Oh, okay.
But he was
All right.
like, listen, boys, I got to branch out on my own. They're like, oh, no. What are you going to do? Are you going to be like Steve Winwood? You're going to come up with like Valerie or something huge like that? And he's like, sorry, boys. It's
Baseball
even
songs.
better.
I'm thinking too.
I'm thinking too, boys. Like, oh no, we'll never get him back. That's going to. Well, you know what? Let's raw dog some John Fogerty Spotify stats. I would love if
that
Centerfield
song just crushed everything else.
What if I'm gonna remind me to tell a Wyclef Jean story in a second. John Fogerty.
I don't know though because the Fortunate Son has got to be like
His #1 song on Spotify, but this is
That's
John
John
Fogerty
Fogerty,
solo.
yeah.
So that's 43 million. Jack Harlow would beat the shit out of John Fogerty on Spotify. CCR, I mean, I pulled up Creed by accident. Fortunate Son coming in at 760 million. Guess they didn't get their driver's license last week because Olivia Rodrigo was looking at them like, yikes. I mean, if we had the soundboard, we'd have some Kyrie Irving drops to use on.
They're gonna start playing "Good for You" and all the Vietnam War movies now.
Yeah, we should just raise my hand, just be like, excuse me, why wouldn't you use a more popular song?
That's right.
Have you ever heard "Shape of You" by Ed Sheeran?
Can you imagine just a helicopter? I cannot wait to make a video
Yes.
to post on Twitter
Yeah.
of just fucking a helicopter flying in on a war movie, and it's just "Shape of You" playing.
Tell you what, man, we're both a little overtired from a lot of things, so we're probably spinning our wheels a bit on like the Morbius talk. But boy, we got there with
yeah.
"Shape of You" replacing.
I love the idea of just like let's pretend that Fortunate Son got canceled and
Yeah,
then has
because
to be
it's
like
not popular
retroactively replaced
with songs
Shape
that
of You.
have more streams on Spotify. Dude, this is going to be so fun. I can't wait to get nothing else done the rest of the week. Well, let's look up every video that has Fortunate Son. And we're tossing Shape of You in there. We're tossing
Good For You.
We're definitely tossing Good For You in there. How many does let's check out our man's Jack.
Jack
all right.
Harlow's new song probably has like more fucking streams.
First Class already has 75 million.
That is insane.
Industry Baby has 1.2 billion.
Oh my
so,
God.
Yeah. So see the helicopters coming. I told you not to go.
That one actually might work.
Old Town Road.
Yes. That would rule. All
Yeah.
right, this is gonna be a lovely passion.
We're gonna be
project.
heartbroken. We're gonna look up this. We're gonna be like, shit. Fortunate Son is not used in any popular for what film and movie. Why did we think that that was
No,
what's
it
up? I'm
absolutely
kidding.
is.
It's used in,
Every fucking helicopter scene that has ever been shot in Hollywood has Fortunate Son.
and also like every politician that doesn't understand what Fortunate Son is about.
Well, that's like a real Born in the USA situation.
Exactly. So we could take like videos of like Trump walking out to his speech or something, and she's walking up, bloom, bloom,
And
bloom,
just-
bloom,
just
bloom,
wop.
bloom, 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 wop. Wop. Oh man. Let's keep talking about popular songs.
Hell yeah.
What? You know what I bet would be a funny one? Because I bet these people. I'm pretty sure these people kill on Spotify.
BTS?
BTS would be great. Butter.
Just Trump
Trump
walking out on
walking up
stage.
to butter.
Smooth like butter.
Shit was. Oh, okay. Here's. Let's see. Oh yeah.
What?
Shit. Yeah. So like Trump walking out to, or no, let's do a helicopter shot. Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Yes.
Queen fucks on Spotify, man.
Good. They should.
They kill it. Everybody likes Queen.
That's right.
Man.
You know what else everybody likes?
Hold on. Everybody likes Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Oh shit.
Famously.
Like that? Do they like love him? Love him?
Yeah, it's just everybody loves Raymond.
Jesus. How does he do with that? That's got to be fucked up pressure.
I mean, it's
Could we get like a dark season 22 where Raymond?
he just like collapses under
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's no pressure when that
Hashtag
Cal
ta-
Ripken column has carried you decades.
I know. Hashtag take a break, Raymond. Like his fans are worried for him.
What is that, Bieber?
Yeah. Hashtag take a break, Justin.
Yeah.
That was my favorite Bieber era. It was in that year that I would do the worst birthday tweets every time my birthday
my
was
God.
coming up.
Worst birthdays.
Hope you enjoyed your fucking weekend because like 18-year-old millionaire Justin Bieber had the worst birthday.
Had the quote unquote worst birthday ever.
And it was simple. I think it was like they wouldn't let Jaden Smith into the club or something. And I think
Yeah,
Jaden
yeah,
Smith
yeah.
was like 4 years
yeah,
old
he
or
was
something.
like 12 years old, and Justin was like also like 18
Yeah.
in a club, and they were like, why won't you let us drink?
Yeah, why are you dogging us like this?
But also, why weren't they letting him in? Because it's fucking Jaden Smith, and
If this were Fenway Park,
That's
be
right.
No, Pete.
they
Pete
just
would.
feed toddlers beers at Fenway.
Pete, who as a child famously definitely looked 21, just bringing in everybody, all his third grade friends. Like it's cool, they're with me. They're like, I don't know, he looks old, man.
Yeah, everybody loves. What does it say that everybody loves? Oh, everybody loves.
You were
Queen.
talking about Raymond. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll take it back 30 seconds here. Everybody loves Queen. Everybody also loves Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Oh my god, I love Vizzy Hard
Because
Seltzer.
Vizzy Hard Seltzer, it's delicious. They have plenty of flavors, and it's the first hard seltzer crafted with antioxidant.
Oh, you almost got there.
Antioxidant.
There you go.
What am I gonna say?
Vitamin C and
That's right.
superfruit acerola.
That's right. This guy knows his stuff. Acerola cherry. There are plenty of hard seltzers to choose from these days,
acerola. I hardly know her.
but Vizzy has bold and delicious dual fruit flavors and antioxidant vitamin C, and it makes the choice a little easier and a lot tastier. You've got your pineapple mango, you've got your black cherry lime, you've got your strawberry kiwi, your blueberry pomegranate, your papaya passion fruit, your watermelon strawberry, your blackberry lemon, your raspberry tangerine, and they also have a lemonade hard seltzer as well as watermelon hard seltzer. Each variety pack offers 4 delicious fruit flavors and the same antioxidant vitamin C. Why is that word so hard to say?
We all have those.
That's true. I'm a big black cherry lime guy.
My brother in Christ, you crush the black cherry lime.
Fucking right, I do. I actually did crush a bunch of seltzers this weekend.
Yeah?
And they're delicious.
Oh boy, it was too much beer for Dave.
It never hurts to add some vitamins and antioxidants into the mix. So with Vizzy, you can enjoy refreshment and antioxidant vitamin C's. It's a 5% ABV, 100 calories, and less than 1 gram of real cane sugar per can. Every sip of Vizzy is more exhilarating than the last. So step up your seltzer game with Vizzy. Find out where you can purchase Vizzy. Go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. And to get updates on their latest flavor drops and more, sign up for the emails at VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. Must be 21 plus.
Vizzy bring in one of 2 vitamin C's that's keeping me alive right now because, oh boy, you don't need to be a basketball fan. The Celtics-Nets series that, as of this recording, is 1 game deep, is the greatest sports series in the history of the world. I spent today looking up like tickets in Brooklyn.
Wow.
Do I do it? Nah, can't do that. But
I famously, me and my buddy got drunk at the Red Sox game on Monday, and by like the 8th inning,
yeah,
we were purchasing Celtics tickets for Game 2.
Love that.
$300 a piece.
Yep.
And we will be going to Game 2. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, it is tonight. You are right, though. The Game 1, as somebody who does not care about the Celtics,
yeah.
I was fucking invested and screaming, and it was the most exhilarating thing that I've ever been a part of in my life. I hate Kyrie. I absolutely, like, I fucking love sports when there's hate involved, and it just makes it so much better. And I feel like hate is being sucked out of sports like more and more every day.
It's just all indifference.
Everybody's getting soft. Yeah. Like all the players are friends now. So like back in the early 2000s, Red Sox Yankees fucking ruled because none of those guys liked each other.
Yeah.
And now you go to like a Red Sox Yankees game and they're all dapping each other up on the field. They're buddy. And I feel like that's like partially probably because of like social media. They can just chat with each other. And I just think that like
they grew up together.
Yeah,
they played against each other in tournaments.
Generally, people are like a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Definitely. Than
Definitely.
they were in like the early 2000s.
It's not as cool to be a dick, which is good.
Generally a good thing, but I like a little hate in sports. So I am, and we had this discussion too on Monday. We were talking about Kyrie. We had like a Kyrie discourse where I know
there was good Kyrie discourse on Monday.
Yeah.
I'll say we probably at one of the locations I was saying to you, and I don't want to get into like some like big like whoa we were so drunk thing. We probably all sounded. We were able to communicate with each other. But I bet to like an outsider hearing us speak, we probably sounded like the stupidest people that were ever born.
Well, at one point you spilled beer on your pants.
I dropped my beer, and then immediately after dropping my beer, started doing the thing where you throw your sunglasses up and down to yourself. And I caught myself after like 2 or 3 tosses, and I was like, the last thing I was holding, I just fucking dropped. So I'll stop playing this game.
You did pull a cool move, and you bought donuts, and you gave me a donut.
I did. I was like, hey, get some food in your kid.
That was very
have this
clutch.
Donut.
But yeah, we had a good Kyrie discourse while very drunk. Because I feel like you
I'm a Kyrie
generally
guy.
have balanced takes, and you're like, I don't understand why everybody hates Kyrie so much. Or you were like,
I get why they hate him.
And you were like, I love Kyrie. And I was like, sure.
I do like Kyrie.
But you also have to understand that Kyrie is a bitch.
Oh, he's like a dick.
A bitch.
He's an absolute dick to Celtics
I hate
fans.
that guy.
And he lied to them, and they should hate him. And I feel like right now we're in like this perfect, knock on wood, we're only 1 game deep where like no real serious lines are being crossed.
Right.
And again, like if you don't, like I understand not to like defend what do I tell my kids people. Like I do understand a lot of people are probably really mad
What,
that
flipping
like
them off? Like, it's a bad example.
I bet people are mad that like I don't know if you have like a 9-year-old kid and you're like, hey, I want to show you the Celtics because I love the Celtics, and you can't watch it because he's yelling pussy at them and suck my dick and all this and like dropping that in press conferences. So I get why.
With
some
all
people,
due respect, though, fuck them kids.
Yeah, I mean, and this rocks.
Yes.
It's such a two-way street, and again, Kyrie's not gonna like beat anybody up. No one's throwing anything at him.
This is where the discourse got on Monday. It's like it's a two-way street, but Kyrie pretends that it's not a two-way street. He pretends that he's living rent-free in Celtics fans' heads, which is not true. Well, it is
Both
true.
are in each other's heads.
Exactly.
But he is such a mentally strong player. I don't know if he's the most mentally strong person, but he's such a mentally strong player that he can be like getting into spats with Celtics fans while dropping a fucking 39 piece on your dick.
Well, absolutely, but then he cries about that Celtics fans won't let it go, and it's like neither will you.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean honestly, I liked what he said after the game, which was just like, hey, I'm just giving the same energy I get. Like they don't like me. I don't like them. If they call me a bitch, I'm going to call them a bitch because they're the bitches, not me.
I respect it.
So I don't know. I just think of it as.
But just don't pretend.
We never saw like Eli Manning like flipping off Patriots fans. We never saw like A-Rod. For as much as we hated him, A-Rod.
That was
he'd get into our
comparison that we were making on Monday.
But A-Rod fucking took so much shit. I forgot about it. Until today when I was talking to Adam. I forgot about like the Madonna masks and everything. People were like bringing like his like personal life into it and everything. And people were being real assholes to him. And that motherfucker just took it. Like we should, as people, we should have a lot of respect for A-Rod.
Especially because he didn't do anything. Like
he wanted to go to you.
He wanted to come to the Red Sox, the league office. Like I obviously didn't like A-Rod after that.
Same.
And he did a lot of like embarrassing things that were great to make fun of.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like he didn't make the decision to like spurn Boston.
No, it was all he wanted in his life.
Yeah, and so like, yeah, the A-Rod abuse was probably a little bit over the top, but yeah, it's a much different situation with Kyrie because like Kyrie like actively told Boston to go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
and that's why I dislike Kyrie.
But I love that you dislike Kyrie, and I like that. I think.
Oh, I really dislike Kyrie.
But I like that, like when he gives you the finger and when he calls you a bitch or whatever, are you like, how dare you after all you did? Like I think that you probably like that. I
love it. Yeah.
The video. Did you see the video of when he does the double fingers behind his head? He did like a lot of things. Yeah. He had like 4. He did a suck my dick, which like that's his catchphrase. You know, if you test him, he's just going to come with that. But he did a suck my dick. He did double fingers. He hit the 3, turned and gave him the finger. So he had quite a few things. But when he did the double birds behind his head, there's an old guy sitting behind him. And the old guy is elated. And he'd I don't know what he's yelling, but I think he's like seriously like, attaboy, Kyrie.
Yeah. Like I love the idea of playing it up.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes, and like that. Sports is fucking like drama and it's theater. Yeah. And if like you can inject that into it and make it more juicy, all the power to you.
And I think that for somebody who's often painted as unrelatable because he's just so inconsistent with a lot of things that he says and honestly like confusing a lot of the time.
Yes.
So for somebody who's considered very unrelatable, I think that it's perfect for Boston fans that he is a person that if he's told, and like a thing I don't like about Boston is that a lot of times any slight is just so quickly escalated and it's just unnecessary that he does that should make Boston fan even if Boston fans don't like love him for it, they should be like, well, we get that, or they should like appreciate it and respect it because that's what a lot of Boston bozos would do. So yeah, man, I'm crazy about this series. As soon as the game ended, I did the same thing, bought tickets for game 2. And I was afraid. I was like, you know what? Maybe we wait for like the day of the game because sometimes it's cheaper the day before.
It's only going to get more
from like the second we bought the tickets. I checked like 10 minutes later. The get-in went from like 175 after the game to
we paid
like 300.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen a lot of cool things live sports wise, but honestly,
there would have been incredible.
Bruins winning the cup, like Nathan Norton Game 7, a lot of Patriots shit. And obviously, those are all like bigger moments and everything.
Game 1 of a first round NBA series.
But seriously, like a game that you kind of pissed away, and it's against like this really interesting rival, basically playing an Eastern Conference final in the first round because somebody wouldn't get his shots. And you just fucking lost that game. And then in just a second, it's like, holy fuck, they didn't lose. It's over.
Yeah.
Man, that was the most insane atmosphere.
Yeah, and talk about that atmosphere. It's like the atmosphere was so much better because like the stakes were high because nobody wants to lose to Kyrie.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like I fucking love when hate is in sports because the stakes are so much higher because you're like, if we lose, I'm going to kill myself.
I think that the Nets think that this is like going to be a really hard series because last year, if you remember, Kyrie was like, hopefully like the fans are respectful and like we don't have any racism. And that like opened a big thing of like, well, and Jaylen Brown took offense to that because he was like, Boston does have an issue with racism, but like
maybe
don't like hijack the series by making it like if a player tells you to fuck off, like that this becomes like a big national story and everything because players are going to tell you to fuck off, and you know why they're going to tell you to fuck off.
And that's why, like,
but they're not doing that. They, like, and KD was in on it too, and Kyrie stepped on the fucking leprechaun. And I was going to say everybody lost their mind.
That.
No one really did care. No. That became more of like a, why does everyone care about this so much? And it was like, dude, Kevin Garnett cared about it.
I think that it was more like, why is this guy such a bitch that he's doing that?
Yeah, but
that's what pissed me
I
off.
think they did that last year because they knew they were going to smoke the Celtics, which they did. And coming into the series this year, Kyrie was more like, hey man, like I hope that at some point we can get to a point where people are like, damn, like it's cool that we had Kyrie, and like that they remember the good days, famously forgetting there were legitimately like no good days when Kyrie was a Celtic. He did a first half of his first season with the Celtics before he got hurt. He like led a lot of comebacks, and his press conference was fun.
Vibes were bad.
Uncle Drew, like when Uncle Drew was coming out, he was on his best behavior. When he said he was coming back, so there were like a few times that there were good days, but by and large,
generally
the Kyrie experience was like, how the fuck do they have Kyrie Irving and like the best young player in the NBA and Al Horford, who's still really good,
and then
Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward? Like, how the fuck is this not working? And I mean, his second year, he legitimately like torpedoed their season. So I understand. But anyway, he's saying all that stuff. And I think it's more of like I'll try to play nice if you guys will play nice, because I don't think that he thinks they're going to come in here and smoke them.
And it's nobody's playing nice, which I'm glad. But I also do feel like we're kind of like walking on eggshells where like one thing happens, the discourse changes, and now it's like insufferable where it's like have we crossed the line? Like,
yeah, I hope though. Like,
I'm waiting for that to happen.
The water bottle, like you just can't throw shit at people.
Yeah.
So like that can't happen.
Keep it in check.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, again, like I personally am okay with the swearing and the fingers and everything, and like Kyrie doing like the little clever like he kind of doing like the yawn or whatever, like pretend to pick his nose,
and
the
crying thing was very funny.
Love that.
I love people. I love like mocking people for crying.
Oh yeah, I got in. Whenever I get in fights with Boston sports fans, I just call them crybabies.
I think the ultimate insult, the meaning insult is like gonna cry.
Cry.
No, gonna cry is.
Gonna cry.
That hits harder.
Yeah.
Gonna cry?
I mean, cry is a common reply to an Adam Schefter reply.
I don't like that. That's why you lost me with just cry, because it's just like people non-creative people on the internet just use cry as like a
that's like reply to reply
ratio
thing. So right, exactly. Yeah. So like Adam Schefter says the Dolphins are trading for Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill's 40 times blah blah blah. And someone responds like cry.
Yeah, it's like L plus ratio plus cry.
I always find it so weird when someone just says ratio.
That's the worst.
So I'm
thing
like, you don't.
That's not how that works.
Right, like the proof's in the pudding, my brother in Christ. Like we're gonna see if there's a ratio or not. You know, there's like a very easy way for us to find that out. My brother in C, what are we doing, bud? So yeah, this Celtics series is gonna rock.
You know what else rocked?
What's that? Better Call Saul or the
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Okay, we saw that, and it's an insane movie. Last 3 movies we've seen have all been insane. That, Ambulance, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
If I had to rank them, this was the least insane.
Possibly. I mean, this was a brilliantly thought of and executed movie. Yet, I think I'm going to have liked it less than everybody else.
Really?
I think it's like a B++. I think it's like some of the moments are incredible and some legitimately huge laughs. Things I'm gonna steal.
I'm
like,
only going as low as an A-.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Yeah, I loved the movie. It was a great time. Like
it is a great time.
That is a like fantastic. You watch it with like the boys.
Yeah.
And like you're gonna have so many laughs.
Not since Father John Misty said, very cool. Has there been an immediate I'm stealing that? Then maybe it's just this word. But there's a scene where Pedro Pascal and I really don't want to spoil anything because the movie's not out yet. But Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage basically fall in love over the course of this movie, and they do
like the soccer jersey swap.
They do something like that
with other things. But
right. Exactly.
And then there's just a
once they've completed the deal, they're just like sitting there, and Nick Cage goes,
pregnant pause.
Cool.
You do a great Nicolas Cage impression.
Do I?
Just with the word cool.
I do it often. Because I've had to sell people on Pig a lot.
Really?
So I always have to say,
you do.
Someone takes his pig and then he's like, I'm looking for my pig.
Yeah, you do a good Nicolas Cage impression. I'll say that.
Nice. I'm updating the old bio.
Nicolas Cage, I don't know like how or when, but Nicolas Cage has just become like
king.
Yes.
When did this happen? I remember when I was a kid.
Like a self-aware king.
I remember when I was a kid, like Nicolas Cage was fucking Nicolas Cage, and I remember in college, someone came to our room and was like, "Hey, we're going to the movies. Want to come?" My friend was like, "What movie you seeing?" Such and such. Who's in that? And they went, Nicolas Cage, and he goes, "Oh, I'll stop you right there. Absolutely not."
Yeah, right.
And I laughed so hard because I was like, yeah, who wants to see a fucking Nicolas Cage movie? Get out of here.
He basically was like the Nickelback of actors for a long time.
Yeah. And this was before like people thought to be like, hey, he's just trying to fucking work, man.
Yeah.
Don't be mean to Nick Cage.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a very, very fun and creative movie, and
like 9.5 on the fun scale.
Yes.
Or like if not 10.
Yes. And it has a lot of like the Nice Guys sort of vibe to it, with like the buddiness to it.
It's
and,
like the ultimate buddy movie.
It is a great buddy movie, and it's like you wouldn't expect like Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage to have that sort of buddy relationship.
Yeah.
Like Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
So it is incredible, like, to behold how good they are together.
Fuck, it did remind me of one movie, and I forget what it fucking was. I didn't write down any notes, but shoot, it did remind me. It wasn't unlike anything I've ever seen.
No,
like it still felt like you were watching a movie. So when you say it's like the least insane,
I
think you're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, the premise is Nicolas Cage is where Nicolas Cage is in his career. If things were like a little worse, and he wants like the next big project, and he has to take some fucking like shitty birthday party thing to make a quick buck, and chaos ensues.
I feel like this was Nicolas Cage. This was like a time period where Nicolas Cage wasn't cool. Like,
yeah.
So it would have been what, like
pre-Mandy,
6-7 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, and that's why I said right after, I was like, man, I had a tough time with like the first act, because everything and every joke was just like establishing that anything that happens in this movie will be either a direct result of or a direct setup to the fact that Nicolas Cage sucks and not at acting, at everything.
Yeah, just like
just like a useless human, and I really didn't like that.
There is like an uncomfortable element to it because it is like Nicolas Cage signing up to shit all over himself.
Yeah,
but it's also a.
I was that reminds me, by the way, I was making fun of myself when I dropped my beer, and when I dropped my beer at the bar, I was making fun of myself, and then I dropped my beer, and that was the worst combo in the world. Making fun of yourself is like okay, but if you then give like everybody a chance to laugh at you while the topic is already by your choosing that you suck. So I don't know. Maybe it was because I was coming off of that. But yeah, seeing like him fuck everything up and like the FBI not being able to count on him because he's so fucking stupid.
But there's also like the element of respecting him more for being willing to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if I were to meet him and be like, hey man, you went pretty hard on yourself in that movie. Maybe he'd be like, well, the joke was so clearly that I'm nothing like that. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, everyone thinks that, man. You're right. Yeah, maybe that's why it is. Because like the Nicolas Cage reputation, you were just talking about like the Nickelback comparison, which unfortunately I think is pretty fair, and that like just like easy punching bag.
I think that he's just leaning into it now, and like that is the easiest way to make yourself cool.
But he is goated these last few years. Like I didn't like Mandy, but he was good in it, and Pig is like really a fucking like all-timer. Sounds crazy, but
he's done some corny shit,
man. It's
up
there.
I think that like over the past 5 years, there is absolutely no question that he is a very good actor.
Yeah, and he's great in this. There's so much. It's also Tropic Thunder. So that's a stupid. Yeah. It's like a very basic, low-hanging comparison. But there's like a lot of all he wants to do is have the next big role, or he still wants to be Nicolas Cage, but he's also wrestling with like, should I be being a better dad? Should I be getting my finances in order? I can't believe they go there as much as they do.
Yeah,
everything's on the table.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of real shit in this movie about Nicolas Cage's life, which
he makes a financial proposal that there were a few scream out loud moments for me in this movie. I was a noisy motherfucker in that theater because it was fucking.
I think. There are a few Paddington 2 references in this movie, and the reaction that it got from the theater just warmed the fuck out of my heart, because they talk up Paddington 2 as like being an incredible movie, and the entire theater was like, yes.
Yeah.
So like I love that it's just widely recognized that Paddington 2 is an incredible piece of cinema.
Oh yeah,
now.
I mean if you're going to. For the joke that they were making, or not even joke, but for the thing that they were doing, Paddington 2 is the only movie that makes sense there. Yeah. It has to be something that came out recently that somebody maybe somehow could have missed, but that most people would say, you haven't seen that? It's the fucking best movie. I can't think of anything that's more highly regarded and highly reviewed than Paddington 2 there for something like that. So when Tatum hit that layup, I screamed, ah, for like a minute straight when the Paddington 2 thing came up, and it's presented as like favorite movies go essentially. And like we get to the top of this guy's list and he's got Paddington 2 there. I yelled out like a 5-second yo. I looked at you. I was like, man, you think I like it, or you think any of these motherfuckers here like it? Pete, man, this is for you. You earned this.
That was for me.
People can love. We all have things like that like everybody loves and everybody gets that it's the best, but it's like somehow it's still like it's still like really yours.
Yeah, it's mine, but I want everybody else to have it too.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like it's a weird thing because like I was in on Paddington 2 from the ground floor, but I wanted to make sure that everybody else felt welcome as well.
Do you think Paddington 2 would be as popular if you didn't see it?
That's just
the answer is no.
Thing to say.
But by like a like millionth of a percentage of a fraction or whatever.
True, I've gotten a lot of people to watch it that may not have otherwise watched it just because I didn't stop talking about it for like 6 months.
30 to 100 people, fewer people wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah,
wouldn't have
seen it, wouldn't have made the choice to see it when they did.
Yeah, man. But I mean, the Paddington stuff rocks. Did you notice the the love interest
By
of
the
Pedro
way-
Pascal. You noticed who that actor was?
No.
That was the girl from season 2 of Master of None.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Nicolas Cage would be an incredible Paddington villain.
Oh, God, yes. He'd be so good. He'd be like, give me the fucking book, Paddington. Where's my bear? I'm looking for a bear. I'm looking for Paddington. He left his watch at my apartment last night. We were hanging out.
I think they did announce the Paddington 3 villain, and I don't know who it is. How funny is it now in retrospect that Nicole Kidman was the first one?
I know, it's so rough. She was not great in that.
She wasn't good, but
Yeah. I was really, I mean, Paddington and Mamma Mia too. Paddington and Mamma Mia, for movies that came out at the same time and had sequels at the same time, it's weird that the first one was kind of not it, Chief.
I guess Ian McKellen might be the Paddington 3 villain. I don't know.
There's a drug scene.
Oh, there's a drug scene, and it's very much like the Wolf of Wall Street drug scene.
Yeah.
But it's
It's Wolf of Wall
It is
Street.
fantastic in its own way.
Wolf of Wall Street drug scene meets This Is the End.
Yes.
Big pit scene.
Yes.
If you've listened to this podcast, you know which This Is the End scene we absolutely love, in which device they use that we absolutely love. That is used, and I was not mad. I wasn't like,
No.
oh, that's like in This Is the End.
It was like telegraphed too. You knew you knew it was
Exactly.
coming, but it was still done well enough that you're like, I'm glad they did that.
Dude, can you like really just like take a second and think about that scene? How intense that scene gets.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
what they're doing. That's where I mean that was probably like the height of the movie, but at that point I was like, I am fucking floored by by the cinema that has been placed
it's like
before me.
Two very good actors.
Yeah.
Just like acting the shit out of the silliest scene in
Out
the
of
world.
the weirdest fucking thing in the world. And again, like obvious jokes, but it's a very well done movie.
There are also like a few very, very much laugh out loud scenes of physical comedy.
Yeah.
Of just Nicolas Cage like turning on his like acting, like his acting switch, where he would just like turn around and like his face was just like, okay, and now I'm acting.
Yeah, like now it's a movie. Now
It's
this is what I
so
have to do.
Fucking funny.
Man, did you? There's a shrine to Nicolas Cage at one point in the movie.
Yes.
Were you peeping for any pig artifacts?
No.
I was like, there's not going to be any pig
No,
shit in here.
definitely not.
That
That would be
stinks.
funny if there was just a
Pig
pig in
shit?
there. No,
Oh, no,
just
there's
a pig in there. He's like, "There's my pig."
You found my pig.
I would have lost my fucking shit if he had just like come across a pig at some point in the movie. And was like, there's my pig.
Yeah, no, if it's in there and he walks in and he sees all the stuff and he's like,
Where's my
you have this thing from this movie. You have this thing. Hey, that's my pig. That's right. Can I have it back? Of course. And like the rest of the movie, he's just like carrying his pig. He's like, we have to get out of this situation. Calm down, pig.
I fucking love Nicolas Cage, man.
Man, he's goated, man. And I recently rewatched Con Air. That's a great movie.
That is a great movie just because Nicolas Cage has long hair and it's very funny.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of Con Air in this movie.
There's a lot of stock or like archival footage of Nicolas Cage movies.
I was wondering.
How do you have to like pay for the rights?
That's what
to
I was
those
thinking. I
things?
was like, I bet whoever made National Treasure, rightfully, probably held out like fucking crazy
Yeah.
because they're like, if you're doing this, I know which one you want the most. You want National Treasure. We haven't done much on National Treasure. I don't know those movies well.
I don't think I've ever seen him.
I've seen the first one, but I saw that like way late. But that was again. I was like, I am not seeing the Nicolas Cage treasure chest movie. No, thank you. I'll be going to see Superbad, you dorks.
We still have to do the sleepover.
Yep.
So patreon.com/listen to brunch.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Patreon.
Good ambulance content
We've
that's up
kind
there
of
right
been.
now.
Wait, is that it? Was ambulance?
Friday, I believe. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, well, ambulance
yes.
was a great
Yeah,
great review.
yeah.
You should go fucking
Batshit
subscribe.
movie, batshit review.
Yeah. Go subscribe to the Patreon and listen to our ambulance review. We're gonna do a sleepover at some point. I feel like the next Patreon tier we should do like a weekend of things we've never done because it came up today that I've never been to the Olive Garden.
Oh my god.
And you were like flabbergasted.
I was complaining about one of our friends. I was like, you know that this asshole has never been to the Olive Garden. You were like, shit, we're supposed to have gone to the Olive Garden, and I wanted to kill you.
I've never been to the Olive Garden. Never seen National Treasure. It would be very fun to just like slot away a weekend to just do things you've never done before. That like people would be, and like
How could we make it content?
I know that we like hold out on things. I think the content would just be like reviewing things that we had never done before.
Yeah, so just kind of make it like an Affleck week type thing, except like we block off those 2 days. Like, okay, we're working this day. All right, so hey, watch National Treasure. We'll talk about it. We'll put out an episode. They could be like kind of crudely done.
Yeah.
Just like record, toss them up. That would be
just like a Never Have I Ever week.
Man, that'd be good. All right, so that would be. Could we work in some Beatles there?
Yes.
Okay, so we could do some Beatles. We could do some Olive Garden. I mean, Olive Garden honks. I haven't been there in 1,000 years, but they got like a consistent chicken parm. You know who would love Olive Garden?
John Buccigross.
John Buccigross. Because here's the thing with my guy Butchie. He likes chicken parm.
He loves chicken parm.
And
man, boy, he will let you know it.
I
every
can't
time
believe
he is ever on TV.
So I like I love the John Buccigross Twitter chicken parm content. It's like rewatching an episode of The Office.
I don't need
you know what it's going to be
on ESPN.
Yeah,
the TV channel.
I think the television integration has been a work in progress, and like Torts doesn't want to do it, and he's like, "Oh, great, more." And I'm like, "No, the chicken parm thing shouldn't be like a.
It should be like a couple times.
Be like, nobody should have any bad attitudes towards it. No one should be like, oh no, the chicken parm segment didn't work, or like the chicken parm thing should always be good and should always make you feel good. I like when people like, he doesn't say my brother in Christ, but he's got a lot of my brother in Christ energy when he sends some of those tweets.
He absolutely
does.
Like,
hey Butchie, my wife just made chicken parm for the first time. How'd she do? And he'd be like,
divorce.
My brother in Christ divorce her. My brother in Christ, that looks like it sucks.
He is not shy about like just being like, yo, throw that shit in the trash.
That is really funny. We should have him on to be like.
He would absolutely come on.
Yeah.
Me and him are boys.
Okay.
All right, cool. Bucci, come on the podcast.
Yeah, but it's going to be about Chicky Parm. All right, Better Call Saul was good too.